Hello, everybody. Oh, welcome back. Oh, my gosh. Kill the music. There we go. Rob is having technical difficulties, but he is with us. Waiting for him to get his... Oh, my gosh. Look at that wild eyebrow. Woo! Oh, Lordy. Rob. Are you there, Rob? Can you hear us? Rob's not there yet. Anyways, how's everybody doing? It is Thursday, May 15th, 2025. My name is John. This is my channel, The Origin Factory. It's our Thursday night live stream. And we got Rob from Extreme Toys. He'll be on here momentarily. He's having some technical difficulties. Let's see if he's still... Yeah, he's still sideways.
Okay. There we go. How's that?
You're a little off center, but...
Nope, wrong way.
Yep.
Hey, look at there.
Ta-da.
Now I gotta turn the brightness. Now I gotta turn the... Oh, it turned on me. I literally didn't even touch it, and it turned.
Ah, Robert.
Oh my God. This is gonna be one of those days, man. One of those days.
You're like my third favorite Rob today instead of my favorite Rob. Volkswagen, hello from Southern Ohio. Hello.
How's that? There we go. We'll work it one way or another.
Anybody else checking in? Let's see. We got 5 up there. So there, that's not too bad, Rob. Try not to squint.
You see a little.
You look
I
like
know the lights.
You look like
I got all the lights turned up so damn bright that I can't. Oh, geez.
Yeah, you look like you're staring at the sun.
I know, man. This is a rough one today. It's just not wanting to.
Yeah, we're not having a great week, either one of us. But anyways.
No, the termites. Holy crap.
So Rob's down in Texas, in the Dallas area. I'm up in Minnesota, near Minneapolis, Twin Cities. Rob had a termite infestation. Has it been a week and 2 weeks now, or is it?
We're literally right at a week.
That's it? God, you guys move fast. You guys are really moving fast on that one.
I just didn't want to. I didn't want to let it linger. You know,
right.
The chaos and the stress and all that it caused in the household. It's just like, So.
Yeah, I get it. Anyways.
Oh man.
And I've been doing tree work, which is what I do in the summer, and been breaking equipment. Fortunately, no injuries. That's always the best thing, and we're safe. But other than that, it's been kind of an expensive week the last few weeks. So glad to have those jobs done. Hopefully the next jobs are less problems, we'll just say. Like I was telling, I wanted to share my new pet peeve real quick, since that's a quick one. We already talked about that. My new pet peeve on Facebook is getting a friend request from somebody, and then after accepting the friend request, being immediately entered into a raffle group or waffle group or whatever they're calling it.
Oh, God. I told you about mine. You know? No, it's even better when somebody like me that's buying and selling a lot, I didn't realize that this was a thing until recently. They friend you. As soon as they friend you, they have access to your photos. They go in, they steal a bunch of your photos, and then they go start scamming with them.
Yeah, Facebook's still kind of the wild, wild west, I guess. But
I'm gonna have to start locking it down. You know, it's funny, John, because I had a vintage RC group that the admin he hated. He said I was cross promoting by having my little Extreme Toys sign in the background. And I was like, dude, every other group requires that now to kind of stop the scammers. He goes, not in this group. You're not going to cross promote. And I'm like, okay. And then ironically, not 3 weeks later, he's cross promoting in my group one of his live sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's not really fair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez. But I don't need to cross promote. I don't care that much. I just I just trying to keep from. I've gotten burned a couple times where guys will not buy something on eBay because they've seen it getting scammed around Facebook. And they don't realize that they're so protected on eBay that it's next to impossible to scam anymore with eBay. So,
Right. Right.
I just wish they would.
Well, I've
I
noticed
wish the
from what,
scammers would stop.
yeah, one of the groups I'm in, they don't have a very good moderator. He's not very active or something, but I frequently see the the eBay photos in postings in this group. So somebody is just stealing the photos, and I try to make sure before I report them that try to do a little due diligence and research and look on the person that's selling it on eBay and make sure they're not maybe in the same town and maybe they're promoting their own listing. But when the pricing is off
Hmm.
by $300, $400, $500 and they're not, the city and the state don't line up, it's like, yeah, you need to get out of here. So
Yeah, it's you're protected by eBay when you buy something. You have
right,
the seller protection program. So you're really covered by eBay. eBay forces the seller to take it back whether they want it or not. Even if you put no returns accepted,
right,
the eBay forces you to take it back. You don't have a choice.
right,
And either you take it back or you give them a full refund and they keep the product. It's your choice. Um, and you're also double protected because you most likely used PayPal to pay for it. So you're protected by PayPal and you're protected by eBay. And ironically, they're owned by the same conglomerate. So it's like, that's one of the things I've never understood about people getting sketchy on eBay is like there's no reason for you to be sketchy at all on
right.
eBay. You're so covered. You're so protected.
Scott's checking in from
Oh,
your neighbor in beautiful
oh my
Texas.
gosh. Hi, Scott. Let me go. I'll go say hi, Scott. Hey, Scott sent me something kind of cool. So Scott got one of those mini Macs. You know what I'm talking about? The
Oh, yeah,
tracks.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So and he converted it to a 3S, and he just did the wide Max on it. That little sucker. I think it's as wide as it is long now, so it's gonna drive around like a pancake. It's
It's
not
a
gonna fall
box.
over
Yeah.
at all. Yeah.
Is it
So
12
it's pretty
scale?
cool. I got to give
12
him that.
scale? 12 scale? 14 scale? Or how big is it?
I think they're classifying it as 1/16 or 1/18,
Oh, so it's a little.
but
I
it's
haven't seen one yet in person.
no, it's big. It's really big. I mean, I don't know how to describe. If the X Max is 1/5 scale, and I think the Max is considered 1/10, but the Max is kind of closer to 8 scale. So this one is closer to 12th than it is to say 18th. But it's big. I mean, it's a good size little truck, and they're pretty cool. My brother's got one, and it's fast. It's no joke fast on 3S.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh man. So, what are we getting into tonight? Oh
I don't.
God,
I don't
I'm
know
scared.
anymore. I don't even know why I'm here. No, I don't know anymore,
Ugh,
dude. It's been so much chaos
I know
lately. Both of us.
it is. And
It's
I
it's
finally
the way
got
some
everybody out of my house.
summer's so hectic the way it is. It's just like everything is full speed ahead. Winter, you practically around here, you just kind of sit on your hands waiting for summer. And it's just go, go, go. Hello, Mike, my buddy Mike. Hello, Mike. How are you tonight, sir? We just had a huge weather change. Huge weather change. We've got gusting winds right now. We dropped about 20 degrees. We had rain move through, and so we had 90-degree weather. So it's kind of nice to have a little break from the weather. Because normally this time of the year we're supposed to be in the low 60s. So we usually don't have
Oh
90s.
wow.
No, we usually don't have 90s this time of the year. So
Yeah,
it's
we were well over 90 yesterday, and we were in the mid to high 80s today. It was clear and sunny, and then all of a sudden it overcasted. And the minute I sat out in the driveway I have a whenever I go to Dremel and cut on a body, I try to take it outside so that it's not making that dust everywhere. And as soon as I set my chair down and sat down in the driveway to start cutting it, I'll be damned if these big giant raindrops didn't fall out of the sky for a whopping 3.5 minutes. And now it's just sticky here. It's just so sticky, so
mm-hmm.
humid. Oh God,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're pretty low humidity now. We're around 50% or whatever. It's very tolerable. I mean, in the summer
Oh
we'll
no,
we'll we'll have the obnoxious stuff like you do. We'll have 80-90% humidity, but we usually don't hit 100 very often like you do.
yeah. Oh man. Oh, so did you get all your tree stuff done today?
Sure. I don't I don't. Dude,
So
I just
you
lose
get
I'm just
to,
kind of lost track of everything when I'm buried in stuff. So it's like for me to get involved with like even with this stuff right now, meaning the live stream and stuff is just kind of like because we haven't done it enough yet where it's just kind of second nature, you know. And then with
yeah.
my job not being related anything to this hobby, you know, it's I'm kind of distant from it or whatever. I'm not engaged with it like
Hmm.
so. And being self-employed, you just kind of go 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 sometimes. You don't get a chance to just whatever re-engage with your hobby or whatever you want to call it. So it's just the life of the self-employed.
I get it. I get it very well. I only make as much money as the work I put into it. So I ain't
I
been making
was
much lately.
Yeah, the market's soft right now. There's not a lot happening as far as selling stuff and
No,
that kind of stuff. It's everything's a little
yeah.
soft right now.
I I don't know. You and I had talked about it before. You had said, well, it's tax time and guys are having to pay their taxes and stuff like that. And I I I don't know if it's that or if everybody's scared of the tariff thing or whatever, but it just seems like there's an influx of listing stuff for sale. Like I've seen a ton of stuff get listed, but I'm not seeing a lot of stuff being marked sold
Right.
later. So,
So I put a picture up of that stump I pulled out today.
oh
Oh
yeah.
man. I mean, it's just about as big as my mini excavator. It's funny all the
Good
work that
God.
little it's funny all the work that little machine can do. And
Yeah.
then but
It yeah.
because it just about outweighs the machine, all I can do is kind of drag it around because any attempt to lifting it'll throw the machine over, or put it on its
You do the
nose or
tilt.
whatever. Yeah, yeah. So usually what I can do is I can pull it up against the bulldozer blade with the bucket, and then I can kind of
Hmm.
push it on drag it on the surface and kind of push it or drag it across. And so now it's sitting
Yeah.
literally on the curb of the street where I'm working, where the project is at in this neighborhood. And I'm going to have to go get my Caterpillar wheel loader and chain it to load it because this thing just cannot move it. And I way underbid the job. So it's like, I mean, not to poor me, but it's like, it's just way more than I wanted it to be. And I'm not as intimidated about the stimps anymore. So I kind of forget about if they're big or large. I just do it. And then when I start trying to drag it along with my excavator, it's like, oh, that thing can't even lift it. Now I got to get another piece of equipment to lift it off the ground.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Goodness.
It feels like
So
we got our 6 months of winter, and then you got your 6 months to learn your job again, and then start to get proficient right before the snowfall, and then you forget everything.
yeah, what have you done anything at all RC related in the last? I know you said you went crawling last
No, that
weekend,
was
right?
2 weeks ago. That's already been two
Oh
weeks.
my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Well, that's I got a little story about that. So that's my
Oh. Woo, it's so pretty.
that's my
That's a
reef.
Reef's gold.
Well, it's brass, and it's
Oh, okay.
so it's 800 LP low pro or whatever they're considered, and I have that on my VRD, which I had out 2 weeks ago, and I'm kind of rough on my stuff that I go crawling with. I really don't worry about it getting damaged. If it gets damaged, it gets damaged. So I've some days I'm really tough on it, but anyways, it took some good dives that day, and I got the servo started skipping, and one of the guys is like, "Yeah, you got a tooth bent over or missing or whatever, blah blah blah. You're gonna need a rebuild kit." And I'm like, "Okay." So I just sat on the rocks right there on Saturday, and I ordered one up from Reefs directly, a rebuild kit. And it took me an honest week to get it from ordering them direct. It took 7 whole days. And I ordered it from them just to make thinking, well, I was thinking ordering from them would result to a better outcome. But anyways, um,
Not
got
so
the
much.
yeah, got the gear set, and then earlier this week I thought, you know what, I'll just do a live stream while I'm rebuilding my servo, which whatever it was, Tuesday night or Monday night I tried to do a live stream and get all apart looking at the gears. None of the gears are the same. Looking at the card, the paper on the package, and it says it's for my servo, and then it says 2024 and newer. But it's like, how do I know what year my servo was made? And
That's it. That wow.
went back to their website, made sure if there was like any things in the description, like, oh, I should have read this first. Nothing in the description saying this only applies to this servo made after a certain date. So that
Hmm.
infuriated me. Tried to email them. Took, I don't know how many days for them to get back on me via email. So I messaged them on Facebook, got an instant response on Facebook. And then that person said, "You already emailed us, didn't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He says, "Well, they'll continue to assist you on the email side." I'm like, "Okay, thank you."
That's the reason I hit you on Facebook.
Because I wasn't getting a response. Yes.
Yep.
And I basically said in the email I was frustrated because I just bought a gear set to rebuild your servo, this servo, blah, 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 800 LP brass, da, 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 da. And it had no description on the website, saying that it would only fit certain certain, or it didn't say on the website that there was a changeover year, whatever, that kind of stuff. I said, so I'm really frustrated with, lack of clarification on that. And I just bought a set of gears, and now it doesn't even fit the unit I have. And I waited a week for it, and I'm just frustrated. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I can appreciate that, blah, blah, blah. I can either send you the correct gear set to rebuild that one, or you can mail us that one back and we'll give you a refurbished newer one. So the current gear set will apply to it. So you'll be able to rebuild it in the future. He says, but then we're going to send
Yuck.
you a label to send the other one back. And I'm like, okay, send me a label. And I think it's been a day and a half now, and I still haven't got them to send me a label yet. Let me see if they ever responded, because now it'll be like 2 days sometime today, because I responded yesterday. Yeah, I still haven't gotten a response. Yeah, I'm not real impressed with their customer service right now. I've seen some people gripe about it. Yeah, I still haven't gotten a response. I mean, all I did was respond and say, "Yep, send me a label." And yeah, it's I didn't really want to change servos out. I really wanted to just rebuild it and put it back in instead of having the rig, whatever. Because I don't have another servo like that. All I have is smaller ones, and I kind of wanted whatever. Anyway, it's just a little frustrated with the customer service end of it and the communication and how slow it is and slow to respond. But that's really the first time I've ever tried to deal with reefs on their customer service end. So I don't know. You have any experience with reefs or not, other than owning them?
Not with, not with. Well, I own a couple, but not. I haven't broken any. I will say that I used to break the high tech 7955s in my airplanes pretty regularly. And it got to where it was just too frustrating to deal with. So I would always just buy another one. I'd just go pick up, just screw
Right.
it. I'm not going to mess with it. Now,
And
I
uh,
do actually have something that I didn't tell you about.
wait, one more thing about the servo thing before you switch gears here. And
Okay.
honestly, the only servos I've ever wrecked before were stock ones and I'm ready to runs. This is the
Uh
first
huh.
so-called high-end upgraded servo I've ever had a problem with.
Okay.
I've never taken a tooth out before or nothing like that. So I mean, usually I don't have problems like that, but now having to deal with their customer service. So it sounds like the kit that's exactly for this one, they really don't offer it publicly. So you have to go through the so that seems to me that seems kind of be it bullshit because it's like so if you have this older one, I mean, and they're saying 2024 and newer, so it's not like this is an old servo. We're in 2025.
No.
So it's
Yeah. I
like you
mean,
don't have this available where people can just buy it. It's
what's the gears made of?
unobtainium.
Well, I meant, are they
They're
steel gear?
they're
Are they
silvery.
titanium?
They're a silver metal. I'm assuming they're stainless. I don't know though.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
don't
for
know.
sure.
That's weird. I had an issue with Traxxas for a little while with their 2075X because their X is supposed to be the really great servo. It was in a UDR and it wouldn't break the gears, but it would literally burn the servo out. It would melt the back of it. And the nice thing about them is normally they just swap it out, and they would deal with it. But
Oh, and that's what my
I don't
hobby
know.
store said with Traxxas. If you purchase it within 6 months, they'll just give you a servo.
Yeah.
And
So, well,
I
I have a funny story.
okay, go
Are you
for it,
ready for
sir.
mine?
Yep.
Okay, so my granddaughter, being around all this crawler stuff here lately, she wanted a crawler of her own. And I had gotten for my birthday almost, this will be 3 years. This coming November will be the third year. I got a gift card from Motion RC. My buddy gave it to me to use towards an airplane.
Sure.
And I wasn't going to use it, and I let it sit, let it sit. Well, she came up to me and she's like, "I want a crawler for me." So I did my research. I
Mm-hmm.
hit all the YouTube channels and everything, and I settled on the FMS FCX 18. I found on their website that they had an open box special. And in their open box special, it said the only thing wrong with it is that the hood hinge is broken. And they give you a link to a body set that if you wanted to fix it, but it said factory tested, works as it should, everything's included, but it's an open box. And I was like, okay, that's perfect. She's not going to care about the hood, no big deal.
Which body is that?
So it's the Land Cruiser, the LC80.
Is it the desert tan one?
And no, it's the gray. It's the dark gray.
I'm trying to pull it up.
So yeah, so I ordered it and I used my gift card and I had to pay the difference, which is no big deal. I didn't mind it. So the truck gets here and it got here on a Thursday,
There it
or
is.
no, it got here on a Wednesday. It got here on a Wednesday, and I pick her up on Thursday. So I take it out of the box, I throw it on the charger, and I go to drive it, and it's front wheel drive only. And I was like, well, that's weird. So I pick it up and all four tires spin. I was like, well, that's really weird. So I set it back down, and sure enough, it's front wheel drive. So it had broken the pinion gear inside it, on the in the rear differential. So I messaged them literally 21 minutes after it was delivered, and I said, "Hey, it showed up, it arrived broken." Well, then they sent me an email right back that said you can either contact us via the chat or you can call this number. So I called the number. I got a really nice guy on the phone, and he's like, "Oh, I can't do anything about that. I'm gonna send you a link. Go through the link." I was like, "Cool, no problem." So I go through the link. I send it in. I get a response within less than an hour. And the response is, and John, I'm not exaggerating. It was an open box. You knew what you bought, as is, no warranties. Have a good day. I was like, well, that was weird. Like, you didn't even listen. So I responded and I said, I understand I bought an open box and I get that, but you're supposed to have checked it out. And you said in your description, and I screenshot it and sent it back to him, that it was only a hood hinge damage. I said, thank you. You made it easy for me because I guess I don't need to buy anything from here again. I guess I wasted my birthday gift card, and my granddaughter's going to be disappointed. Now, on to the good side. So I looked it up. It was $3.23 for the plastic gear set. They could have made me a customer for life if they just would have done helped me out some. I don't
Right.
expect them to do it all.
Well, right. And at their
So
cost plus shipping, it still
yeah,
ends up being about $3. Right.
yeah. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I learned my lesson. No big deal. I jump on Amazon, and for $9.99, I got two gear sets in hardened steel from Endura, and they were delivered the next morning at 5 a.m. So me and baby sat here in the room, and not only did she get to play with the truck in front wheel drive to see that there was a problem, but then she got the experience, and I got the quality time of taking it apart and fixing it with her. So in the end, she's happy. Cost me a couple extra bucks, but I was like, man, a little bit of customer service goes a long way with me.
I'm
So,
As we're talking about this, I was trying to think of any customer service in RC that I've been impressed with, and I can't think of anybody I've dealt with in RC that's impressed me with customer service, because
hmm,
I've even had my problems with Vanquish where they weren't even getting my emails, and I don't know. I can't think of anybody. I mean, I've in other types of businesses that I deal with, I can think of people, but I can't think of anybody in RC.
I can. I got
Who
two. I got
who's it?
two
Oh, share.
recently.
Yeah, go right ahead. Share
Northwest Scalar Designs on the ones that
them.
make all the chassis like the Duster and
Yep.
stuff. I got a trench knife. I ordered the body mounts for a Mojave body, and somehow my body mounts were just a little off. They were a little narrow, so the body just didn't fit width-wise. It didn't suck down to the mount. And I'll tell you, I just sent him a message and said, "Hey man, am I doing something wrong?" And he's like, "Let me look at it." Responded right away. The next morning, he measured his, and he goes, "Man, I don't know what the heck." And I was like, "Me neither." And he goes, "I'll just email you the file. Print it out yourself." That he trusted me with his body mount file. And you and I both know that once you have somebody's STL file, you can print them for days. But instantly, boom, just like that, he responded and was like, "Hey man, sorry for your problems. Here you go. See if you can
Mm-hmm.
make this work." And the other one was Kenny. Kenny's Custom Crap.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
dude, oh my God, he's the greatest. I mean, I haven't had any problems, but I've had questions. and he's Johnny on the spot. Like, hey man, this is what you need to do. Here's some pictures. You know, if you need anything else, give me a shout. And it just blows me away. I mean, granted, they're small time, little boutique shops like you talk about, but
Mm-hmm.
man, that customer service goes a long way with me, a long way.
Yeah, I mean that when I
So
have good customer service, I have no problem referring people to people because then I know for sure, even if they have a problem, they're going to back it up.
yeah.
You know?
Well, and it's nice when you have a question. You may not have a problem, but you have a question. It's nice that you get that immediate response, and they're helpful instead of what did you do wrong, because so many times you run into, well, you
Yeah.
didn't, what did you do wrong, you did something wrong. What did you do?
Yeah, and I
Like, I
and
didn't
I
do nothing.
and I get them feeling that way because a lot of us do a lot of crappy things to these things, and sometimes we're like, well, maybe we'll get a warranty if we say something, you know. So they're dealing
Yeah.
with some of us being not so upfront and honest, but still, when it comes out publicly, you know, in a conversation, it's like, oh, you got to bottle that up, you know. Even if you feel that way, not everybody's that way, you know. You can't. Yeah. Ash
Hey, did you
wants.
see Ash just did
Yeah,
you see Ash's post?
Ash is late, so we're not going to talk to him.
I'm sorry, Ash. I'll talk to you. Hi, Ash.
Yeah, he said he made a
Oh,
video for his hard body. He was just finishing up.
I told him to share the link. I want to see it. I
He
love
said
I love watching the
he said he's
videos.
editing it right now. He's not done with it. Read the whole post.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
He's
Hmm.
in the process. So, anywho,
Yeah. I don't know,
I
man. I know that a lot of my YouTube channel is just me doing stupid little crawl videos, but man, I love watching other people's little crawl videos. It's just neat, it's just kind of neat to see what they do with them and where they go. And
are
so,
we
especially like I've been watching West Desert Wheeler a lot.
are we ready to talk
What?
about buggies?
You're gonna throw me under the bus, aren't you?
No, I was just from our rant when we were talking before about Team Associated basically having the buggy button stuck. Let's see.
Okay,
So
but I told.
just a
Oh,
second. Let's count
damn
how
it.
many RC10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Are you counting the
7,
Yokomo?
8,
Are you
9,
counting?
10, 11,
Oh,
12 RC10s that are truly RC10s.
I know.
12.
I know.
Then the Yokomo is 13. And then,
Ah,
yeah.
Yokomo number two is 14. Yes, I know. There's two Yokomos.
Yeah.
I didn't
Uh,
realize they did a clear sedan. Did they do a clear sedan chassis?
I don't think so.
Scroll down. What
Yeah,
is that one right there? What is the TC7? Is that a clear TC7?
maybe. Oh my
I
gosh.
didn't. I had no idea they
It
did that.
is.
Okay.
Collector's Clear Edition. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're really a one trick pony right now. They're not really.
Oh, hey,
Well,
before
look
I
at that.
forget.
But look at that. A hybrid. We got hype. We've got all these carbon fiber bits and all this fancy anodizing, and then we got those clear parts, which have been notorious for being weak. So it's like you got all these expensive bits on a chassis on a kit you can't drive.
I wonder what the differential housings are made of.
It
Are
looks
they
like they're
aluminum?
I don't. It looks like black plastic. I don't. Maybe I don't know.
No, that's aluminum, dude. That's aluminum. So the only thing that's clear plastic are the arms and the carriers. Everything else is high grade. Huh.
Yeah. So you got all these
So
fragile parts and these high end. It's like Why did
Yeah, you
you?
got all the fragile parts out there where they might get broken.
Oh my god! And it's $5.
Hey, before you forget, I want you to remind me one trick pony. I have a funny story for you later on
Okay.
that one. I have a good one.
Oh my god! I
Okay,
didn't know.
so I'll admit it.
I didn't know this kid
I'm gonna
existed.
admit I didn't either till you
I
were
can't.
scrolling through it.
I've just stopped paying attention to Team Associate. I mean, and the only reason I bring them up is because me and Rob have been fans of this company for a long time when they were making stuff of interest that we all cared about or made products that functioned and won and competitive and so it's just this is more just kind of a rant that I don't know why they've turned the direction they've turned, let's just say.
Yeah. Well, I will tell everybody, like I told you earlier, that I'm on board with the 40th anniversary re-release. I'm on board with the graphite, definitely on board with the graphite re-release. I'm not on board with the world's re-release because they've already re-released it once. Now this is twice. Um, I'm not on board with the J Halsey. I'm not on board with the green. I just think that they've gone back to that well too many times, and we've said that over and over.
Well,
But I
and not
think
not only
that
that, but the timing of it. They're doing this every 3 months now, 3 to 6 months. They're coming out with
yeah,
another RC10, which is basically a paint scheme and different colored wheels. I mean, it's
yeah. And half the fun, like I told you before, half the fun of building a replica car is going out and finding the parts, and they're not hard to find. Most of the stuff to make a J Halsey replica is not hard to find. Uh, it just takes being creative, and that's fine. To me, I get it, but I just don't think they should have done it. I definitely don't like the four wheel drive because the four wheel drive, they did not engineer it, they did not create it, they weren't interested in it until they had the opportunity to re-release it and basically steal the designs from A and
I
L
I just
or
I
Factory
just
Works, however
I
you want to
just I just
recognize them.
noticed this on their website. Um
Uh oh,
when you see the screen up again, look at the little note the difference on some of the on these previews that you can click on. Are you got them up on your screen now? Can you see them as I'm scrolling through?
I'm looking at them. Yeah,
Look what it says on certain ones of them. These are definitely the one, and I can tell right away, those are definitely the ones that'll be harder to sell. Everyone that's harder to sell has a little purple circle that says free shirt. How do you know when sales aren't going good? Let's throw in a free
you throw in
t-shirt.
freebies. Yeah,
So that team kit, that clear uh uh sedan or the touring car, that says free t-shirt. Um the Yokomo, which has been a hard sell, I saw them cutting the prices on that right away. That's got a free shirt. The clear RC10,
the
that's just not
DS. That
yeah,
DS was a horrible car when they released it
yes,
the
it was a
first
piece of
time.
yes. When we were racing touring
You couldn't.
cars, we had to make a special class for them because they couldn't compete with the all-wheel drives. Um,
Well, they you couldn't keep the ass end behind them. Every time you come out of a corner, the ass end was in front. Every time, and
yeah,
they
and that's
ate tires.
right. And the guys that were buying them were just diehard RC10 guys, and like, oh, they're making a road car, so I'll buy that. Oh, that doesn't work as a road car because everything in
Okay,
the everything.
I'm not a fan of Ford, but you have to admit that Ford body on that DS is a killer looking body.
No,
I love that body.
no,
Ah,
the Mercedes
I like that
body. The
body.
Mercedes body was better. Remember they had a
The
CLK.
Camaro was ugly.
Remember they had a CLK for it.
Yeah, and a truck. They had the Nash truck body.
Free T-shirt. There's something to drive sales. Here's our $3 T-shirt.
Good
Oh
lord.
gosh, that's hilarious. You're gonna drive sales with free T-shirts. Oh Oh
Well, and
lordy.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm really saddened to see such a dominant historical brand. I mean, look at Losi and look at all, some of the other companies. They've done their Kyosho. You said it yourself. Kyosho and Tamaya have really managed the Riri market very, very well. They really have. And ah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
and
Saddens me.
yeah, in Kyosho, yeah, they're not beating the art. That's the other thing with RC or Team Associate. They're beating the RC10 to death. And Kyosho has been doing the pan cars. All their different 4-wheel drives, buggies that were successful. Some of the 2-wheel
Hmm.
drives. I think they've done the Ultima, and I mean they've been trying to mix them up and not do one thing continuously. Whereas Team Associate, it's like, what's the next RC10 we can do? It's like, oh God, you guys got to quit it. And the thing is,
Okay,
Team Associate had pan
I have
cars.
a
They
question.
they dominated in 12 scale, you know, and then
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had the RC 250 305, which was 8 scale. They have a huge history in pan cars. Granted, I don't know how well they would sell because there's probably not as much connection to them, but I would buy one of those before I'd buy a second or a third RC10 Riri. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they had some cool
Do
stuff.
you do you remember the Kyosho ZX? Did you ever see that one? Do you know what that one is?
I don't even know what it is.
So the ZX was huge in Japan.
Well, tell me
Huge.
what the
It was
chassis is. What
dominant.
what class of car is it?
It's a four-wheel drive, a lot like a Yokomo. It just is not as fragile. Yeah, the early Yokomos were kind of fragile. They typically had problems with the bulkheads. But I wish Kyosho, if you're listening, I doubt you are. I would love a Riri ZX. Those are, oh my God, those are great buggies. Those
Well,
are just killer buggies.
I saw Yokomo was gonna do the one leading up to the YZ10. The one before it was like a YB10 or something like that. They're working on releasing the one before the YZ10, which is a much more primitive, in my mind, much more primitive, kind of an uglier car because it was kind of chunky looking. But I had saw
Oh,
that they were gonna re-release that. Of course,
here you go. You want to see something crazy? I don't know if I've ever shown you.
Rob's got three
I'm
of
gonna.
them, of course.
Oh, I've got a Yokomo prototype. So okay, so I'm gonna show you something. Okay, so this is a really interesting buggy. Oops.
Wait. I will give you full screen. I don't need my face in here. There we go. Right, now back up a little
Uh,
bit. Back up a little bit.
back up. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So this is a really interesting buggy. And I don't know all of the history of it. It's just a very, very cool car.
Oh, look at the
But
shock placement.
here's
Oh, that's the rear shock
oh
placement. That's
yeah, hold
pretty.
on. Let me no. Let me pull the body off. Go figure I got the pins on real good this time. So this car, Kenwald, the Brian Kenwald, actually raced one of these. These were hugely popular in the UK. They were not very popular in the US, but there you go. Look at that. It's all cantilever, like an F1 car.
Right.
And look at how low slung that entire car is.
And which
I mean, it's
manufacturer is that?
just. So, this is a company called 10th Technology. And this is what they call a Predator. And they actually made this car, this chassis, in a sedan. And oh my God, it is amazing on super rough course. And you look at the technology in this car, Can you believe that this car was made back in the 90s?
Uh-huh. Oh,
It's all
the steering servo sits that far back. Wow.
Yep, it's right there.
Uh-huh.
You put your battery. You can either do saddle packs, or the other option was you did your motor here, your ESC, and then your servo here. You could do there was a couple options. So,
And that's what's
but
that's
look at
that
the
but that's what's fun about the hobby when there's a lot of interest. Then these little companies come up and do this really cool stuff. You
yeah,
know? Then there's enough
yeah,
people and
and
there's enough people involved where cool stuff like that pops up, you know?
well, and it's kind of like the crawler stuff, man. I mean, the crawlers thing is the same way. It's look at how many little businesses have popped up because of leaf springs lately. I mean, you have to admit leaf springs have gone crazy in the last year. So,
You're the
I mean,
only one I
I'm
know.
a
You're the only one I know that drives one.
really?
Yes.
Oh my
I
gosh. Well,
there's
I love them.
I mean, and the guys we go out with, there's sometimes a dozen guys, you know, thereabouts. And I even asked them last time, anybody got Leafs? And they're all kind of like, I think so and so might. But then Mike mentioned he's got a TF2. He hasn't, I don't know if he's done much work to it though. So he doesn't sound like it was very fun to drive, but
Well, and that's the thing is TF2s are so hard to get them to perform properly. They really are. They take a lot of work, and I think that the guys at like Northwest Scalar and Twisted Fab, I really think that they have changed the game, and I don't know. I hope everybody. I really don't want it to go by the wayside. I really enjoy them. They're a lot harder to drive. They're not nearly as easy, and you don't just have to point and squeeze with them like a lot of
right,
your crawlers these days.
right.
I mean, let's be honest, the axial wraith, you just basically point it at something and squeeze the trigger and it's going to go over it. It's not going to, they've gotten to where they're just so nuts that, and I think that's why I like the Leaf so much is because it's kind of, I tell a lot of my friends it's like owning a sailboat. You can't just own a sailboat and go sailing. You have to work it. You have to really try. You can't just. It's not for everybody. So, and here you go, John. Here, since you're gonna make fun of me, there's my Yokomo prototype.
Nice.
So, if you actually notice, that's the chassis pan, and what it is this is a molded chassis that Andy's RC did for Yokomo that never went into production. So I managed to grab one. Kind of neat. So that's my that's my baby. That one will probably get buried with me, or the wife will sell it as soon as I'm dead. Uh,
So when we're out crawling, we're usually at this state park. And so there's a lot of people there that are there for other reasons than RC, of course, because it's a nice state park. And so we always get
Camping.
some, this is, there's no campgrounds in this part of the park, but it's mostly just a spectator hiking, rock climbing. And so we're allowed to be there as long as we're nice and stuff. But, people always stumble onto us and ask questions. My little funny is always when moms are walking by, I says, hug your kid or he'll end up like this. He'll be hanging out with us someday if you don't give your kid a hug. So, and then my friend Mike that always, Mike's always there quite a bit too. And his little thing is, he goes, it's just like golf. And I used to go and look at him like, how is this like golf? Well, you got to focus on it. It's kind of his roundabout way of this. And I always give him crap now whenever it's just like golf. It's just like golf. It's like, I don't know. I never thought golf was that fun, but so, and oh, I'll tell this story too. So I got a customer who's an attorney and she was there, happened to be at the park with her daughter, and they're with the no, not with the dog, but anyways, daughter and mom were there. Mom's a customer. Don't really know too much about each other's private life type thing. Mostly a business relationship. And she's watching us, play with our toy trucks on the rocks, and she just looks at me and she goes, "John, besides driving it, what do you do?" I'm like, "That's pretty much what you do. You just drive it." She's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep." Oh, okay.
Wow.
She's a very nice woman. I mean, but it was just funny. It's kind of like she's just trying to wrap her head around why we're there and play. Middle-aged men playing with toy trucks in the park in the middle of the day. It's like, so what exactly are you doing? Driving it? Well, besides that, what are you doing? We're just driving it. Yep. It's just yeah. So yeah.
That's funny.
Ah. Anyways, good
Kids
times.
don't know how good they got it these days. Jeez.
Uh-huh. And we always try to
Oh
entertain the
man.
little kids when they go by if they're sitting there geeking out and watching us. But yeah, seems like the adult males are more interested in what we do than today's kids. So we'll get
I was
more inquisitive type stuff from adult men than we do from children. Children, it's still not
I,
fast. It's still not fast enough for them to hold their attention. They kind of get bored with it real quick watching us.
I was at I fly at one of the local clubs. I'm a member of a couple of the local flying clubs, but I have a little park right here by my house, and it's way up above all the houses. So like when you're standing in the park, your eye level is above everybody's roof. So it's kind of neat. But I go up there and I'll when I need to test one of my helicopters or something, and I don't want to go all the way to the flying field. And I took one of my big scale helicopters, like big 5 blade 8 MD 500, and I'm spooling it up and I pull it into a nice hover about eye level, so that's like 5 feet off the ground. And I rotate it around both directions and just kind of move it around a little bit. And the kid looked at me and he goes, "Is that it? Is that all you can do? Because I seen a guy on TikTok do a lot more." And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"Yeah, that guy on TikTok is getting paid.
Yeah,
I spent my money and my energy. No."
you should have handed him
Oh,
the radio and
geez.
say, "Show me how good you can do."
Yeah, no.
Let him crash.
Oh, no, no, no.
Oh
Oh,
lordy.
goodness.
Oh, I did see on
I'm gonna have to do it.
Vanquish news this week, live stream yesterday. No, 2 days ago. Today's Thursday. It sounds like they're just about done filling orders on the H10 optic. So, and I guess we've seen chassis numbers now pushing 200 almost. So they may have done about
Wow.
200 on their first batch.
So, how many do you think that I mean, do you think there's a final number that they will reach, or do you think that they will keep making them as long
They
as there's
kind
a
of made it
demand?
sound like they would keep putting the ability to order up now. And as long as they keep selling every time they put them up, they'll keep making them. And if it ever slows down, that'll be the indicator that they're going to wrap it up. That's kind of
I
the way
mean,
that, I mean, in a roundabout way, that's kind of what I've heard from just listening to them talk about it multiple times. They haven't really put it all together in
yeah.
one sentence, but it kind of sounded like, because that's what they did with the Ripper was they said, the pre-orders just started drying up and we just ran them out and nobody was trying to buy them anymore. So we shut it down.
I will tell you, I remember when the Ripper came out, and I was like, really? No, I'm not spending that much money just for a cage. It just, but now I don't know. There's a side of me that would love, to have one, but I
Oh,
understand that
you'll get one.
financially there has to be a reason for them to make them. There has to be enough demand they can't just make
Right.
batches of 10. They probably have to make batches a minimum of what, 50, you would think.
I don't. You got to remember though, they just have to keep parts up. And they're going to make parts for inventory too. You know, for replacement parts. So
But I
eventually,
thought they said that you can't buy parts unless you have one.
right? Well, they've sold 200 so far. That's what I mean. They're at some point they're going to have to start offering the replacement parts. So I think what I'm getting at is sales start to slow up. Now we'll just determine how many we want to have inventory and parts for this stuff, and then we'll just keep pumping out parts for a little while, and then we'll open the sales again, see how it goes. And if it starts to peter out, then just kind of absorb those parts into inventory and then just cut back.
What axles would I know the Ripper was just basically a cage. What axles was there axles that were Ripper specific?
No, no. There was
Okay.
the only thing that was Ripper specific is what came in the Ripper kit.
Okay.
So the front bumper, cage, panels. Because yeah, you had to supply transmission, axles, everything else you had to supply.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um the Q series lights. I mean, they offered those for a while. I think they finally quit selling those too, which is kind of sucks. They're kind of drifting away from those lights that they made, the light bars and all that stuff. They kind of made it sound like that's kind of ran its course and they're not going to do that anymore. So that kind
You
of
think that's
stinks.
from all the Chinese crap?
Maybe because maybe nobody just appreciates having aluminum housings when you can buy a Chinese one for $5 versus spend $100 or $50 for their light bar or something. I don't know. It
Yeah.
sounded like they were kind of doing some of it in house, and the guy that's doing that, maybe they're spreading him too thin and he just doesn't have time to do it, that kind of thing. Like he's been absorbed into other areas or taking on other responsibilities where he's been not able to keep up with that and the interest isn't really there anyways, and kind of like maybe it's just time to get rid of that.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the way it sounded, but I don't know.
Well, that sucks. I don't know.
Well,
I go back and forth about wanting a Ripper to okay, wait. An aluminum optic. There we go. I go back and forth on it. I just the collector side of me likes it, but then I
H10
just
Ripper.
wonder,
H10 Ripper.
yeah, but I just
I
don't
know
know.
you'll end up ordering one before last call because you'll be far enough away from your termite infestation. Life will be back to normal, and you'll be like, yeah, they're going to shut them down. I'd rather pay what they're charging now than pay more later. And life will be easier at that point. You'll be like, yeah, I'll order one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Or you'll be dead and gone. I
I
don't know.
give yeah. So is there anything new on the horizon from Vanquish? I haven't heard anything.
New. I don't know which. I mean, nothing as big, but I mean, they're always doing new stuff. I mean, they're working on new stuff. They were I forgot now. Josh added something. Oh, on the live stream, they talked about because he's been doing those, Josh has been doing those build alongs for those those cagers, and, um, he was coming up, he, made end caps for the tubing, aluminum bullet plugs. So now
That's cool.
so you can buy those from Vanquish now. So I don't know if it's like a pack of 10 or 20 or 15 or whatever it is, something like that. I mean, I got a feeling they're going to have a VS410 RTR soon because they closed out the Fordyce and that's done. So they don't have a VS410 RTR right now. Whereas when they came out with that, they were like doing everything RTR. Everything was ready to run, and that's when people are starting to grumble about no kits being released. and now everything's back to
I know.
full kits again. You know.
I know. I really hope they do a premium, something premium again. We haven't had a. I know the H10 Ripper 2 aluminum optic is is premium, but that's a little too premium. I'm thinking more, $1,000 mark premium. I'd like to
Well,
see it what
right?
they
You
could.
want to see something with aluminum axles and whatever.
Yeah.
And
Okay. So did
they've
you?
always kind of defended that with, well, you can just buy the axles. And it's like, yeah, but you had the
Yeah.
Pro, you had the Ultra, you had the VS410 Origin. So
So did you watch any of the stuff on Beat the Creek? I'm curious. You haven't said anything about it all week, so I was curious.
dude, I haven't had time to do that kind of stuff. I don't know. I haven't. I just heard it was raining a lot. It was a mess. That's all I really heard about it.
Oh,
A lot of
it
rain.
was like, oh, it was bad. Man, I don't know how those guys, and the only reason that I ask you is, do you run your crawlers in the mud or water?
No, because I don't want to clean them up and take them apart.
Okay.
I hate that
I
kind of
just I
stuff.
saw a lot of guys, man, they brought
Because
their stuff home and they're
I know how bad that tears up bearings and stuff.
yeah.
I
I just saw a lot of the what is it, RC Chop Shop and a couple of the other big guys that do that. They were there and they take their rigs home and they look like a mud ball and they're laying them out in the driveway and they're hitting them with pressure washer and I'm like, okay, I understand what you're doing, but
you're
you're
still gonna have
ruining
to
all the bearings in
you
the.
still got to take it apart. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like,
It's
good God, I just don't know that it would be worth it.
it's not like a car where you just hose it off and like, that's good enough.
No, I don't know. I can't believe that guys were still out there running their rigs. So
Yeah, because
now, in my defense,
they're not a very sealed up RC. So stuff is going to get in everywhere. I mean,
yeah,
granted, the bearings are got dust seals on them, but when you get grit
that's
and
dust.
water, yeah, when you get grit and water in there, it works its way into everything, and it'll start taking the bearings out in a short amount of time, and it's just you might as well just take it apart and give it a good cleaning. And then after you do that enough, after driving it that way, you start to realize I really don't want to drive it in the mud anymore. You know,
Well, and a lot of guys don't realize, the old trick about you put a glob of grease in your hand and you pack your wheel
right?
bearings. It works the same with mud and water. If your bearing is in there and you're just packing grease or packing mud into it, you're just replacing what lubrication was inside that bearing with mud and water. So
Mm-hmm.
now I will say, in my defense, I have a Traxxas TRX4 that is my, if it's going to be sloppy, if it's going to be yucky, that is my, I'm taking that one because it's cheap to fix.
Right.
So,
Well, yeah, and
it's cheap to put a bearing kit in.
where we crawl, there really is no opportunity for mud and water. Our normal go to place. So it's not like, oh, everybody else is playing in the mud and I'll just sit there and watch them. So it's not really part of our routine for the most part. So if I want to do that type of stuff, I'll take a rig dedicated just to get beat on, you know. And my crawlers are mostly for dry. But tool time. My daughter went down the scale hardware rabbit hole this week on her Ford Ice along with all the lightweight machine gears. There's the fun part of the hobby, accessorizing. How old is your daughter, Tool
Um,
Time? Just out of curiosity, curious what age
that
is
was
she?
exactly my question. I was getting ready to ask the same thing. My granddaughter is only 5, and
Uh-huh.
she's been playing with this crap since, jeez, since she could walk.
Since you first allowed her to, right? Yeah.
Well, I, I have a picture. Okay, here I'm going to show you some. Let me get over here and pull it off the wall. So this is me and Aubrey, and we're sitting in my hobby room watching Cocomelon on the iPad. And still to this day, she comes in my room and she plays with my helicopters. She's been doing it. She learned to stand up on my rack in front of my helicopters just so that she could work the little doorknobs to
Oh,
open the
sure.
doors.
All the scale stuff. Yeah.
And my daughter used to be like, "Oh my God, she's gonna break it." I'm like, "Well, then I shouldn't have left it there. It's my fault, not hers." So, but she's never broken one, and she loves it. She absolutely she calls this my hobby lobby room. So,
Yeah. So Tool Time says his daughter is 14 years old. Well, that's cool.
oh man, that's awesome.
You know what's even
That is
more
really
awesome? A
awesome.
daughter at 14 that wants to hang out with her dad. That's really
A
cool.
teenager.
Yeah,
Yeah, that says
because
a lot. That says a lot
yeah,
about him.
you guys must have a pretty decent relationship because there's a lot of girls that turn 12, they don't want to be with either parent. So good for you guys. Glad you guys have a hobby you can share
Yeah.
together. That's really awesome.
Yeah, that's I mean, man, that is absolutely amazing. I mean, I spent a lot
I,
of time with my daughter too.
my one of my customers,
Holy crap.
Lynn
Wait.
Floyd.
Read Tool Time's message. So he's got a 14-year-old daughter and he's got a granddaughter that's 8 and grandsons 2 and 4. Dude, you're busy. You've got a lot of little ones running around your world.
Wow.
That's a lot of little ones. That's awesome though. That's cool.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
8, 2, and
Let's see
4.
here. That's a
I
lot.
I got one kid that it's possible to give me grandchildren, but he's still not in a serious enough a relationship for that yet. I look forward to that day, but my big age difference here, twin brothers will be 30. Oh wow. Um I got a customer named Lynn. I think he's got 5 girls, and that was when I still had the motorcycle school. He had one that was the youngest one was just turning like 12 or 13, and he used to always say, "Yeah, the aliens took her away," meaning now she's going through that phase, and he's like, "They always come
Yeah.
back though. They always come back, but for now, she's with the aliens." And he would say
My my
usually around 21, 22, 23. He says around there, kind of like he says when they're getting done with their secondary schooling, whether it be college or whatever. He says, and they starting to really be alone in the world, then they start to appreciate their parents more and realize, wow, there's a lot of stuff I got to do on my own when I don't have my parents around. And he says that's when his daughters would kind of start to re-engage and stuff. But
yeah. Me and my daughter were pretty close all the way up until about 17. That
okay,
16, 17 mark. We used to do daddy daughter dune trips, is what we called them, where I'd
nice,
pull her out of school on Wednesday, Thursday, and then we'd head up to the sand dunes and stay up there for the weekend. My wife was a nurse in the hospital, so she was gone. She'd be gone 12-hour nights or whatever, and so we'd haul butt and go play. But I guess it was about the time she got to 16, 17. We got her a car. She kind of really got interested in boys, and that was kind of about the end of it for me. She never ever really got into RC, and she only
and
partially, mildly got
she's your only
involved in
child,
our
right?
off road.
And she's your only child.
Yep, one and
Okay.
only.
See,
We couldn't have any more. We
I only
wanted more. We just couldn't do it.
I only got one. Also, he has no interest in RCs. He didn't even like, I mean, he's 22, 23 now or whatever he is. He never had interest of any type of toy stuff. Just nothing. I mean, I've been trying to clean out his bedroom and I'm looking at some of these toys. I'm like, man, these are all stuff that I kind of bought thinking he would think was cool and never played with them. It's just, and getting rid of stuff that I bought trying to live vicariously through my son, and it's like just a bunch of crap that just didn't need to be bought. And we got this, it was a Tyco, it was a RC. It was like a spider. It was like an 8-leg robot and it was radio controlled. And I mean, you
That's
don't get,
weird.
yeah. And it looks like,
That's real weird.
well, I think they were playing off of, when the Transformers were real hot.
Oh,
It was
okay.
around that time. I think they were trying to find something they could cling on to that group with, And so and I think it may have even had like a Nerf gun style launcher on it or something where you could actually shoot some stuff off the back. It was really neat, but man, I don't think he played with the thing more than once or twice. It just, it's like, if I was his age at that point, I'd be like, oh man, this is so cool. I'd be having it outside and see what it could do. And yeah, it's still sitting in the same spot it was. I even bought him a Gravedigger LMT-10, and yeah, I don't even know if he has it anymore. Who knows? Maybe ended up at the pawn shop. I have no idea. Oh
That's
well.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's funny. I may not have been cool or as cool to her, but all of her boyfriends. It was so funny because she would dump a guy and they would be like, "Oh man, I don't get to hang out with your dad." I was like, you know, or they would come around after and be like, "Dude, you need to go away.
Uh
I was
huh.
only being nice to you because you were dating my daughter. You need to go away."
Uh huh.
I was the
We're
cool dad, so.
we're not
But I
friends.
was also young. You got to remember, man. I was the age of some of her friends' older brothers. So, because I was only 19 when she was born. So,
Oh yeah. See, I was. Oh gosh, I think I was in my 30s when we had our son.
oh wow, yeah, no, we were young, young. I knew I got my wife. Me and my wife got pregnant really, really
So
young, and I knew I
is your
couldn't.
daughter in her 40s then, or how
No, she's in her 30s.
late 30s or?
Well, let's see. I'll be 50 this year. So 50 minus 19.
Oh, okay.
So she's
Gotcha.
30, 31, 32.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But I mean, dude, I'm 50 with a 5-year-old grandchild.
Uh
So
huh.
it's funny because when me and Tammy go anywhere with Aubrey, everybody thinks that we're mom and dad until she says Gigi and Pop Pop.
Uh huh.
So I don't know.
How far away from our seas are we now?
Oh, like way the hell off there. Goodness gracious. But
Oh
hey, look, you
Lord.
know what? We're smiling, we're having fun. Isn't that the key of it? Hey, look,
Uh,
I printed skids. Anybody needs skids for their leafers? I had a bunch of orders come in. I had to get them done this week.
I did get
Uh,
my eBay find. I did get my
yeah,
thirty
you need
dollars.
to just send that to me.
I did get my $30 transmission. What's
I
the re?
never find those deals.
Think the retail is what, 99 bucks or on these or something like that.
Something like that.
It is a compact, neat little tranny. It's
So, okay, so let me ask you this. I haven't physically had my one in my hand. Does it come with a pinion gear?
no, it is. I think it's 48 pitch.
Okay.
Think is what I saw in the marketing. It doesn't say on the bag though.
My only fear about that, and I was talking with somebody about it, is that it just you're so limited on gearing options. So, and I know that sounds dumb with a crawler, but you still need some options because there's a big difference between 1200 kV and 2300 kV, as far as pinions go. So, and heat and all that stuff.
Well, I mean,
But I don't know.
you are supposed to put stuff together so it matches, not just whatever's in the parts bin. But
Well, but I mean, you and I both know that the some of the two and ones are longer, so depending on how much space you have, might make a determination of what you pick as far as your 2-in-1, and then you might be stuck with a specific KV. So, have you seen any word on the release of the Holmes 2-in-1 yet? I've been watching for that one.
Um, I just saw a shitstorm of people complaining about it on one of the Vanquish pages, and I didn't really sink my teeth into it to see what all the complaining was about. I think something was about the holding, about the brake when you're in neutral, how it's holding, or not holding or
Yeah.
something like that. And then he kind of went in on
Did
it
I
and
tell?
defended himself a little bit. And I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't
Did I
have a.
tell you I
I don't
tried
have.
one of the 1200 kV?
I don't have a side on that one, but it says 11 tooth to 20 tooth, 48 pitch, so you can use a 20 in there, which gives you
That's a pretty big tunable gap, so that'll
which
work.
transmission. So your ratio can go from 6.75 to 1 to 12.27 to 1.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Sorry.
48 pitch, 11 through 20. Weight is only 75 grams.
Well, the for the guys that are doing the comp stuff, the low CG comp, that's pretty good. I mean, that's
Well, and that's what
uh-oh,
I
John's
thought.
getting the sleepies too.
Oh God, yeah, I've been pounding her hard the last few days, but no, because if that Holmes new 2-in-1
Me
gets
too.
fixed, yeah, I already had my caffeine for the day. I'm trying not to have any more.
Not caffeine.
I thought about. Yeah, I'm not a big drinker, but I have some here, and I thought, man, I should throw that on the ice before. But anyways, um, I was hoping if Holmes gets this thing figured out and it works right, I thought that combination with this little transmission, holy crap, would that shave a bunch of weight off a rig?
Well, and it not only does it shave a bunch of weight, but it allows you to put the weight where you want it. You know, you can add weight back where you want it. So I will say this: I'm running. I don't know if you've tried it yet, but I'm running that Fusion 2-in-1, that 1200 kV in my Duster. Man, that thing is creepy, crawly, slow, and quiet and smooth. Oh my god! I
See,
don't think
and
I
I
don't.
don't. We really don't
Man.
use those as much because it doesn't. It, I don't know where we drive. It doesn't benefit for it to go that slow because it's so slick.
Oh, you need wheel speed.
Yeah, because you lose your wheel speed, and it's like sometimes you need the wheel speed on these slick surfaces to get a little momentum to get them going. So I think,
Yeah.
I mean, there might be guys running 1800 maybe, but most are running 21, 2300. On 3S.
Down here, a lot of guys are running everything 1800 and below. Is, but I
Wow.
think that's because the rocks are sticky. They're sharp.
Yeah, I
We
could
have a lot
see.
of sharp rocks.
Well, I could see that too if we had high traction. Yeah, if we had high traction, I could see going that route. But our traction is such junk here. Sometimes you need the wheel speed.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Man,
So I've got
man, Tool
all.
Time, man, Tool Time's got some cool kids.
Uh huh. Well, what's great about when you have kids like that, if you're at the point in your life or career where you have the money to do all these hobbies with them, and because sometimes you have kids too young, and then you don't have no money to do some stuff with, and whatever that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, sounds like he's got a bunch to do and a bunch to play with. And I was just thinking about
And
all my partial projects that are never going to get done, but.
you need to build your duster.
Dude, I've got so many half done projects. Ugh,
Then why don't you just send it to me and let me build it? Jesus.
I probably
Let me
should.
finish it. Get it.
I
That way at
should
least
because
it
you
gets
just enjoy
done.
you enjoy building those so much.
Well, and I'll leave a lot of the paint work for you to do, you
Oh,
know, and that way you get.
I've already started weathering it. I haven't
Well, I
done
know,
any.
but
I
I'm just
haven't done.
saying, at
I'm just
least,
saying I haven't done anything to it mechanically, but I've started weathering the body because that's like I've been telling you. That's my favorite thing to
yeah.
do with that thing.
Well, and that's fine. Send me the chassis and all the running gear. Let me get it going.
I don't have any running gear. I don't have any. I got axle housings. I got a pile of F10 axle housings you can modify to make them work. Plastic ones.
Whatever. I just think, I mean, at least this way, if it comes back to you as a slider, you can put your wheels and tires on it. You put your body on it, do your interior, and be done with it.
I probably
I'll
should.
do all the legwork.
It'd probably be the best chance of me getting to drive it before the snow flies.
I love my Duster. I absolutely love it. Now, oh, I did do a mod. Did I tell you about my limit straps? Did I
No,
talk to you
no,
about that?
no.
Oh, so that Duster from out of the package, I didn't change anything. That thing has so much front droop that I'm actually running limit straps on the front to catch the axle so that it doesn't pop the drive shaft out because it'll pull the drive shaft apart so much.
Oh, gotcha.
It's impressive,
Hmm.
you know. And I think if you were running the T case and the forward motor mount, kind of like Northwest designed it for, I think you would have been fine because you could have had a longer drive shaft. But since I wanted to do it with the VFD, it kind of shortened that drive shaft up and kind of changed the position of it. It kind of made the front drive shaft a little tricky, but but running those front limit straps solved all the problems. And I gave up like a millimeter, maybe two of droop, but it gives it that's that point where it stops so that you don't accidentally bind it and then pull that spring down a little too far. Man, that thing is just it is just so rock solid. That is one of those trucks that I almost have to force myself to drive something else because I drive it so much. I enjoy it. It's just such a good crawler. And if these guys out here want to see how good it is, go check my YouTube because man, I got some killer video of it just stretching its legs. It loves to. It's fun. It's easy to drive. Man, it's a dream. I mean, McCasey, man, he knocked it out of the park with that one. I really dig it. That's one of my favorites, and I've got several of his trucks. So
Oh my gosh. Somebody's advertising for a raffle on the Vanquish buy sell page. I'm surprised they approved the post. Want the
that's
want the chance to win Ripper 152? I have teamed up with RC Chop Shop to waffle mine off. Yeah, I would take that post down. They don't. Yeah.
I mean that'll get your group shut down on Facebook for gambling. That's a no no. I mean, I understand it, and I think it's not for me because I never win. I have the luck of a rock, but I just I don't know. Hey,
Have
how do
you?
you? I don't.
Oh, have
How
you?
do you know you're gonna?
Finish your thought.
I was gonna say, how do you know if it's not fixed? I know they do those randomized things, but I don't know. I just
I'm not a gambler,
makes me nervous.
anyways. So yeah, that's the way I think about that stuff. It's like I don't win at that stuff, anyways. So I don't get a thrill out of gambling. It's I if I was going to do something like that, I'd want to buy as many chances as possible to put it in my favor, and then I'd still lose, and I'd be pissed off.
Yeah. Well, and there somebody that did a Ripper not that long ago,
Oh yeah, they
and
pop
there was
up all
like
the.
two of them.
They've been popping up all for the last few months since the market's been kind of soft. I think because these guys are I got stuff falling all over the place. Because I think guys were they had them for sale for a while and they weren't selling, and so I think they did the raffle to try and get it to the price he wanted to sell it for. Because it's like, well, if you sell them at $20 a ticket, and sell however many to get your whatever $7,000-8,000 price tag, then you get your price
But
for
but
it.
do they lock that number of sales? I mean,
They
how do they
do
do
they
that?
do they do limit the amount of spots.
Okay,
So
okay.
they'll have a set amount of spots, however many, say there's 100. And then you say, I want spot 28, I want spot 30, I want spot 36. And if it's $5 a spot, you owe $15, whatever it is. I don't know. So you pick your numbers and, it's like, but it usually adds up to more than what the typical price is for one currently. So they're making good money off of it. But then there's
Well,
so
I
many,
told you
but
about that one.
yeah, but then there's so damn many spots sold. It's like, yeah, you ain't going to win it. One person's going to win it. 50 people aren't going to win it. One person's going to win it.
Well,
So
there was that group last year that waffled a Ripper, and the first drawing got the Ripper, the second drawing got like 2 grand cash, and then the third drawing got like $100 gift card. So you had three chances to win something, but yeah, they always over
well, and then a
there.
lot.
There's always something.
Well, no, what's funny about that is the guys who win them. A lot of times the thing comes up for sale in 3 weeks. And the guy's like, "Yeah, it's for sale." And then people are like, Didn't you just win this in a raffle somewhere?" Yeah, it's just not my thing. It's a lot of money, and I don't really want to have something that expensive. I'd rather have the cash, and it's like some of these rippers, yeah, they've had a lot of owners. There's certain ones that have just been sold many times. What's
Yeah.
Hunka Love's
What?
got a comment about the. Yeah, I understand why they call them waffles versus raffles because yeah, they get in trouble because raffles are illegal, right?
Well, and if you're paying for it through PayPal, it's illegal too.
Yeah.
PayPal has a zero tolerance for gambling.
Uh huh.
And I've heard of people that said, and I told you about this too. I've heard people say that they have had their PayPal not only shut down but confiscated because
Illegal
they were
activity.
doing
Right.
gambling. Yeah,
Right.
gambling. So PayPal just confiscated it.
Right.
So,
Because if
you know,
if PayPal can goes along with it, then they're an accessory to it, and then they could be in trouble with the feds. So they
yeah.
have to just knock it down because otherwise it jeopardizes their business also.
Yeah, because gambling ain't legal in Texas. It is in Oklahoma, but it's not in Texas.
Well, but then that's kind of like other things like drugs and alcohol. It's like, well, this drug is legal. Well, in this state it's not, but in that state it is, and it's like there's so many.
Well, and it's so funny. I'm totally off topic, but Oklahoma has casinos,
Look at Hunk of Love.
and Louisiana has casinos, but Texas, we can't have marijuana and we can't have casinos. The two things that make an abundance of money is marijuana and casinos, and we can't have them here. So,
Hunk of Love says,
oh,
having said that, if you wanted to
yeah.
give your channel subscribers free raffle tickets at $5 each, I'm all in for that. Dude, that's probably the only way I could make money at this YouTube channel is to do something illegal.
I was watching. I think I was watching Finnegan. I was watching Finnegan's Garage, and he made a comment, and I thought it was really ironic. He said that you have a better chance of winning your state lottery than ever making any real money on YouTube because the market is so saturated.
Well, but the ad
It's like
revenue
one in
is,
10,000.
well, the thing is, if you're doing it off of ad revenue, you don't make squat. The way you make money is if you're promoting a business and using it for advertising to further that business.
And merch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because your clicks per minute or whatever, your watches per minute is so, oh my. I what
Yeah.
So I watched a dude. Because when you're a whatever YouTube creator, whatever you want to call this, you get pushed videos all the time because you research what do I got to do to make my videos better. So it seems like every YouTube creator, well, at least a lot of them, whenever they get to the point they get monetized, which means they get paid for the advertisements that run during your videos, which is not very much, just to let you guys know. And then plus you have to cross a threshold before you even get that. You have to have 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. So a popular thing is for YouTubers when they cross that threshold and they start to get their ad revenue from YouTube to make a video about it to show how much money they actually made. And so this guy was doing like home handyman stuff, guy stuff, like how to fix a refrigerator, or how to work on a lawnmower, and just basic kind of stuff your dad would teach you if you had a dad that knew how to do that stuff. And that's kind of one of those things. It's kind of a lost thing in our world too, but anyways, so I mean, just kind of research stuff. Like if man, I got a problem with this, you click and do a search on YouTube, you find somebody like him doing a repair on something you own. So YouTube doesn't send you a check until you reach $100 that they owe you. So after his first month of being monetized, meaning he was earning revenue, it took him another 3 months to get to $100.
Oh God.
So he was doing about $33 a month. So his channel like is slightly bigger than mine because he's crossed that threshold, and it's like, yeah, it's nothing to look forward to. $30 a month. Oh boy. So you think about these bigger channels like RC Sparks and stuff like that, where they actually get real numbers of people watching stuff. It's like, or even
Yeah.
what's his face, the kid. Oh shoot, I can't remember his name now. Oh,
Well, they said that everything I've seen says that you got to have a gimmick. You got to have and the one that is most recent is no way. The guy that does the videos where he watches some kind of little trick and he goes out and I guess he's from up north like Canada or something, and he goes no way, and then he goes out and he tries it and it either works or it doesn't work. They said that that really helps push you, where you get that flash, that drive. You got to have something that gets you that drive. So
so Hunk of Love says, just look at Josh and how many members he has now on Harley Designs, 400 and something, $5 a month. He's making 20 grand extra a year. Yeah. And you know how long he's been making YouTube videos? I mean, he's been doing it since his primary interest was motorcycles, I guess. That was why he's called Harley Designs, because I think he had an interest in motorcycles before and was doing motorcycle videos. I think his channel's been up for in excess of 10 years or something. Takes a long time to develop your channel organically. Yeah.
yeah.
It's not an easy
Well,
thing.
and I have an old. I didn't realize this until earlier in the week. I have a second YouTube channel that I forgot about from back when we were hitting the sand dunes, and I was videoing all the buggies and stuff. And I went back and I looked, and it's got like a whole ton of subscribers. And I'm like, well, how do I move them from over here to over here? So it's like, damn it. But yeah, it's I give all the guys credit that are actually able to do something with it. You know, you and I guess we're doing it and we're kind of having fun. I think that's kind of how
That's
we.
why you have to do it that way, and then success will be the reward if it happens. If you're doing it for success, it seems too contrived and people don't seem as real or natural, and I don't think people like that as much anymore. It seems like more of the
Well, I don't.
seems like more of the real talk stuff does better these days on YouTube instead of highly scripted and highly polished stuff. Not that this stuff couldn't be a little more polished, but
Well, it wouldn't be any fun. But I don't know how many of you guys know. I've been on several other YouTube channels that are big YouTube channels,
and you drug them all
and
down and they all went out of business.
yeah, pretty much. And They're highly scripted. They're highly edited. I mean, and that was one of my things that it's defeating because I know what really happened, and then I saw what came out, and I've never fully watched some of the episodes on some of the channels that I'm on
Well, and that's
because
why I
one, I don't like looking at myself, but
well, and that's why wanted to start doing the live streams. I don't have time to do videos and edit them right now, and this at least keeps the channel going right now, you know.
yeah.
And at least we have stuff to talk about that's related about the hobby and stuff. So at least keeps the channel relevant for now. But yeah, I just don't
Well,
have as
and
much time to do the RC build stuff, and it gets frustrating because there's a bunch of editing and stuff. I I bullshit all day, so I can bullshit for a couple hours once a week. That's no big deal.
well, I mean, let's be honest. You and I are legitimate, real world friends. This isn't an act. I think this is probably as natural. God, other than the cussing
I'd like a
and the
refund.
hey, hey, let's show everybody what it's really like. Okay, so
I,
when John calls me
are we gonna do
and
Taco Thursdays? Oh.
I go, hello. What
Oh,
does John say?
what did I say this week? Was it yesterday or was that today? I said, hello, sweetie. And you said, no, that's not you. And then I said, okay, hello, sweaty farts. Or what did I call you? It was
No, you
something.
asked me if I'm naked. You asked me. You have all kinds
Yeah.
of
I
just
ask you what you're wearing.
off the
Yeah.
wall.
Are you naked? Are you thinking
Oh,
about me?
yep.
No, but
I
it was,
had to
yeah.
show my wife your picture just so she knew you were real.
And there's more of that where that came from. Yeah. Oh, man.
I don't know. It's cool, and ironically, the hobby is what brought us together. You've taught me
Oh,
a
that's
ton. I mean, you've taught me a lot, and I appreciate it, and I enjoy talking with you, and
mostly about
it's fun.
polishing your
And
rough edges so people don't get scared of you.
well, there has been many occasions where I've called John and said, "Hey, John, this just happened. This is how I want to respond. Now, how should I really respond?"
Uh-huh. Yeah. What'll keep me out of
Because
jail?
the
What will yeah.
expletives will come flying. Oh
Yeah.
God,
I do a little more retail
I
than
don't know.
Rob, so I can't tell every customer how I feel.
Yeah,
Oh, that was something to remind me of. We got a swap meet this weekend. You know, I told you we only have like one or two swap meets a year that actually do anything. And the first one is or the big one is this Saturday. And of course, I gotta look at the forecast now and see if it looks like it's gonna work out finally. Um
did you see the Northwest Scalers doing one? God, I want to go just to
Saturday, 55 and
see what I can
45%
find.
chance of rain.
Ew.
Ah, and that's the way it is every year. It's always ah, the chance for rain's always there for the swap meet. I mean, it's good timing of the year to have it because it's kind of like kicking off the season. It just sucks that our weather usually isn't stable this early, you know. And I'm half tempted to
Yeah,
bring a bunch of stuff that isn't worth enough to box up and ship, like old bodies that people just want as drivers. And what always
yeah,
turns me off with swap meets is the time commitment. It's like now I got to sit here too.
yeah. Well, I know that we're talking about doing me and the guy I buddy up and partner with here. We're talking about doing ours in June. And I'm not looking forward to it. It's
That's
gonna be
hot
hot.
in Texas. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had low
Talk about
humidity, if
sweaty farts.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you had low humidity like Arizona or something, that's not a big deal. But then you just need a easy up and some sunshade, and then it's tolerable. But humidity's just ugh.
Yeah. Well, Tammy has told me that if we're going to that one to set up, then she wants me to bring the generator and the fan and the easy up, and I'm like, well, where am I gonna the inventory to sell? If I'm carrying all the gear. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Get the big barrel fan, the big round. Yeah.
The Mister. We have a swamp cooler. You have a swamp cooler?
No, because we have such high humidity. Swamp coolers are annoying. It's never dry enough to run a
Yeah.
swamp cooler here. It's that mist. It's just like, oh, just what you want, more humidity. It never dries up. I mean, this year it's pretty low humidity, but our typical summers, it's usually 90% humidity from June to August or September. So
About the same.
the
Yeah.
only way to get out of the heat is not to be outside. But granted, we
Yeah.
don't have as much continuous high heat days like you have. It's a lot of our summer's pretty enjoyable, but the humidity just gets a little sticky.
Yeah,
But
we get
back
long stretches. Yeah.
but back to the swap meet, it's like
Oh,
so then you get a sketchy weather forecast and it's like how motivated are you to dig out all your stuff? And then if you look out the window in the morning, it's like it's raining. Screw this, you know. It gets so hard to get motivated for swap meets when you know
well,
the weather's a crapshoot.
and for me, when I go to a swap meet, I've got normally I have a ton of inventory, so I go rent a U-Haul truck and load it up. And this last one, yeah, it just rained, and it wasn't even like a rain. It was like drizzle, and so I can't set half the stuff out, and nobody wants to shop inside a U-Haul truck, and it was disappointing at best. So
Yeah, it's hard to get motivated for swap meets. It's one thing if they're
really it is.
frequent enough and you just decide which ones you're going to go to, but in order for ours to have good turnouts, you can't have them frequently. Then nobody goes. We can only have a couple a year and that's it.
Well, and everybody here, they want like, man, you should do one a month or one every other month. And I'm like, yeah, but then you flood the market, so now the attendance will drop. And then the first time that somebody shows up to a swap meet and the attendance is down, they won't come to the next one. They
It
it's a
really
it's
is
a
it really is a fickle crowd. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
and
it's
it just gets
well,
worse.
right. And I'll almost always go to the swap meet. It's just whether or not I want to commit the time to hang out there for hours in hopes to sell something, you know. I
Yeah.
start to value my
Well,
time too much. After about 2 or 3 hours, I'm like, let's go. It's been here too long, you know.
and it's so fun. I went to this last one and it was rainy and it was yucky, and I stayed long enough, and then I just cut bait and loaded up and left. And my buddy messaged me, and he's like, "Oh man, there were guys looking for you after you left. They had wads of
Yeah,
cash. They
right.
were ready to buy." And I'm like, "I
Bullshit.
don't care.
Bullshit.
I was warm and I was dry and I was at home in my chair. I was happy." So having a adult beverage.
Uh-huh.
So well,
Yeah.
Mr. John, it's like 8:43 and my butt hurts.
See, mine doesn't hurt as much because I actually worked today. I wasn't sitting in this chair all day. That's
Well,
oh, I didn't even throw something in the I should have threw a beer in the freezer while we were doing this. I would have had a perfect temperature beverage. See
what's
us.
your beer of choice?
Oh, it's a local brew. It's not a boutique local brew. It's a mass produced beer, but it's called uh
Pat's Blue Ribbon?
no. What's it? Oh, see this is a lack of caffeine crap. I am usually as sharp as a tack. I am such a scatterbrain without caffeine. Fudge. Hold on. I gotta go look at the box.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I was trying to work on the no caffeine trip like you also. So I have cut down on the number of monsters here lately.
It's the
So
Rob show.
it's the Rob show. Well, you just lost viewers. Look
I
at
can't
him. The
even
clicker
remember
is
my
just
favorite
falling.
beverage. I'm not a big drinker, but I can't even remember the frickin' name.
I'm just jealous that you have hair.
I've always had hair. I got hair where I don't
I
even need
used,
hair. I got hair when I don't want
yeah,
hair. I've got
I
so
have lots of
much.
hair where I don't want it.
Oh my god. Oh, in the garbage can or the toilet?
Yes.
So
Huh.
Grain Belt is a local beer, and they were, a sizable brewery, and they kind of went under and all that kind of stuff. And then somebody brought the name back and kind of brought back. And so Grain Belt is their standard, or their what they're known for. And then they came out with another one called Northeast, and this is an amber. So that's my favorite. I like ambers. I don't like strong, super bitter. I don't like IPAs. I don't like super carbonated, bubbly, bitey beers. I like smooth, soft. And the best compliment to that is Reese's peanut butter cups. Reese's peanut,
Ooh.
especially the little Halloween ones. The one biters. I used to go to
Man,
the. I
those are
used
like
to
Tic Tacs. You just
if we were
pop
gonna
them.
if we were gonna go out and get a drink or something like that, I would take a pocket of those with me, and we're sitting at the bar, and I'd be drinking those, and I just, every third or fourth swig, you'd take a little bit of chocolate and peanut butter. It's like, oh my god, that is such a nice blend of flavors. It's like, oh, it's just perfect for making you fat. It's just a good fat recipe, and it's not a
Well,
high alcohol content beer. It's a mild beer, but I'm not a big drinker, and that's like the only thing I drink is that beer, and that's about it. And I maybe
yeah.
drink a dozen beers a year, so I'm not a big hardcore drinker. But
Well,
caffeine's
my wife
ca-
will tell you I could use a little fat in my life, so
you got me,
I lost a
buddy.
bunch of weight. And
You got me,
yeah,
buddy.
that's what I tell her.
I'm your fat little
I
friend.
got you, babe. Oh God, these poor people. These poor people. They have to listen to our
Dude, it's up to
crap.
11. We had 8 and 7 and 5, and now we're just raking them in. We got 11 people watching right now. You poor bastards. I'm sorry you're watching this, but thank you for tuning in. We
Dude, there was
appreciate you.
like 20. There was like 13 or 14 like the first 20 minutes we were on. And then
Yeah,
I was like, well, they all got pissed and left.
they got bored.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
we're good for something, and I don't know what that is yet, but we'll figure it out
Yeah, I'm
someday.
still trying to figure it out. All right, man.
We
Well,
got,
I'm
we
getting
got to,
ready to shut down.
yeah, fudge. It's quarter to
I'm
9.
getting, I'm getting, yeah, I'm
Maybe
tired,
I'll,
man. My butt hurts and
maybe I'll try to
I'm
video the
done.
swap meet just for something different to do. If I'm gonna go there
Hey, if you
anyways.
find anything cool at the swap meet, holler at me. I'm always looking for more goodies.
We're just
I need
waiting
more
for our free
goodies.
Apple tickets. Well, that's
Well,
so. Me and Mike both have this problem with our swap meets. Well, it sounds like your swap meets are kind of this way too. But anyways, um, you'll see stuff priced maybe like 10 to maybe 20% less than retail, and even then, it's even used or slightly used or almost new, and it's like I'll go inside the hobby store and buy it for new. I just don't saving 10, 15, $20. It just I stuff's really expensive for swap meet stuff. And when I go to a swap meet, I want it to
yeah.
sell. I want it to sell. I don't want to bring it home.
Well, and I've told some of the guys. There's a few guys around here that do kind of what I do, and they're always bugging me. Oh, I need you to do a swap meet. I got a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, man, swap meets are like garage sales. It's got to be stuff that you're just trying to get rid of. You can't. You're not going to make a fortune. It's not. You're just not going to have any big sales. It's around. I don't know about there, but around here, swap meets are more for buyers because guys will wait till the end of the day and they'll walk up and say, "Hey, I'll buy everything for $100," kind of situation. So that's about all that happens around here to our swap meets. So hey,
Harold,
look, Flappin's here.
damn boy, you're late. Harold Muzzy, it's all content. Like to see your area's stuff.
Well, there you go,
Flapping.
John.
Evening flapping. Better late than never. Good to see you, sir.
Hey,
Welcome.
jump on Facebook Live while post up to everybody on your group and then go Facebook Live. Do it on mine too if you want. I don't care. You know me, I don't give a damn.
I already work for free. Now I got to work for free.
Well, I'm just saying. Hey,
I
why is it that
I'm
we've
having a
had
hard.
13 people at one time watching, but we only have 2 likes? We don't have any dislikes, but we have only 2 likes. Come
I
on,
got
people, y'all can
this.
like this.
Mine says 6.
Oh, mine only says 2.
Well, that's because more people like me than you.
Ah, that's probably true. My wife likes you more than she likes me.
Well, I couldn't imagine sleeping with you either. But anyway.
All right. Hey, I'm gonna get out of here. You do your thing.
Oh,
My
come on.
butt
The jokes
hurts.
are getting good. We got an audience now. You're going to leave? It's getting hot.
Yeah, we got an audience of 9. We had 13. We're down 25%.
Oh, Lord. Nope. 7 likes now. See, we're rolling in. Pretty soon I'll be making $30 a month off of YouTube.
Yeah, but how much
That
is an ecom
that'll p-
subscription
that'll
cost?
pay for one pizza a month. Imagine that. One pizza a month
Ooh.
from YouTube with a drink. Old Flappin says he sees
Uh,
5 likes.
I see 2.
Yeah, I got. Oh, now I see 8.
I should give it a dislike. Would you get mad if I gave it a dislike?
Depending on what device you're on, you don't always see the dislikes. Like I think only computers will show the dislikes. Like if you look through the app on your phone and stuff like that, it won't show dislikes. I
Yeah.
don't know why, but whatever. Catering to our
So,
fragile egos, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this. This is Rob
thanks,
from
guys.
Extreme Toys down in Dallas, Texas area. He has Extreme Toys on eBay, and he has a group on Facebook, and he buys and sells RC collections, flies, anything that flies, anything that swims, and anything on wheels. So he parts them out sometimes, sells them whole, sells them on Marketplace through his group, or he sells them on eBay. You can check them out there. And of course, I am
Or
John
I keep and build.
or you can John. I'm John from the Origin Factory. If you like this kind of content, please give us a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you'd be willing to do so, be greatly appreciated. That's what helps us out the most as a new channel. And you can also check us out I'm on Facebook. I have a group called the Origin Factory. It's pretty much just a page to post what you're working on and all that kind of stuff. Share pictures of your rigs and just a place to hang out. It's a smaller group, low key. Pretty much it's not really a sell group, but just a place to hang out and post your stuff. Just more of a mild manner, just a mature audience for the most part, except for when we're on YouTube. But anyways, so any final words, sir?
I'm still looking for a plastic optic cage.
Dude, they're for sale all the time. Just buy one. You don't have.
No. I'll tell you, I'll get on this soapbox real quick. I've seen a bunch of guys that are parting out kits, and they
Yes.
need to go look at what the parts actually cost. Because if you're selling it on
Oh,
Facebook for 20% over retail, nobody's going to buy it. So
I
that's what
don't
I'm
know.
running into.
I
A lot
can
of
sell.
guys,
I can sell Origin parts for much over retail. Oh.
well, that's Origin though. I just want a lousy optic cage that nobody's using because they're all going to the metal. I mean, God, there's got to be a
So
bunch of guys out there with
so buy an
plastic.
RTR for
Well,
$400.
I thought about buying another kit and then just part it out myself, but I'm being lazy. So
Damn, dude,
I printed another body.
you're in the business. Just part it out.
Yeah, market sucks.
Well, I know, but isn't the kit three something, 379 or 38? What is it?
I think it's 379.99 plus tax. Yeah, so you're a little over 4 bills, and then you got to part it out and whatnot. So, and nobody wants the axle housings. Nobody
No,
wants the cages, which I want the cage, but and the body panels. Nobody even wants the body panels anymore. The body panels,
no, because
you
everybody's
can't
printing them.
even
Yeah,
Yeah.
Um,
So
Hunk of
it's
Love
no
wants to,
biggie.
what
I've got another one.
what's the going price for the optic cages? Hunk of Love wants to know. What should they be priced at? Are we
Uh,
talking $20 or what should they be priced at?
no. Like I paid. Okay, so I paid $100 shipped, and I got an entire cage, all the cross members, the interior, the battery boxes, panels, and the axle housings. Oh, and drive shafts for $100. And I was happy with that. That wasn't bad. That wasn't horrible. But I see a lot of guys that basically they're wanting $100 for a bare cage, no no battery
I was gonna
compartments,
say,
no panels. No,
isn't the cage just 40 or $50 from Vanquish? Just the cage?
it's like $75 from A Main if you order all three trees together, free
Oh,
shipping.
really? I didn't know it was that much.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
And I don't want to. I'm not the price police. It's not my. You know, how much do you want? Okay, that's more than I want to spend. Thanks. Have a good day. I'm not gonna beat them up over it. I hate when people do that to me, so I'm just not gonna do it. So.
Uh oh, just the cage sides are 25, but that doesn't have nothing to connect them together. So
I want to
um
say it's like 25, 14, and 17 is and that's no
Kate,
battery.
okay,
No.
here I'll show you. Screen
Oh
share.
shit. Sorry. Oh.
Cage sides are 25.
Yep.
Cage component 1 is 13, cage component 2 is 19.
Okay.
So 19, 20, 31, 25, $85 with no panels.
And if you
Just
order from A Main, it's free shipping.
well, I mean, Vanquish has free shipping over, was it over 100 or what is it at now? I don't know. Yeah.
And and that all I reason I wanted is because I've already got, I can 3D print the battery trays, I can 3D print the body panels, the interior, all that stuff. So that's no big deal to me. Um, you know, but I just can't see spending $100 for
Yeah, but
for a plastic cage that you're.
the kit's 389. Just buy the kit. Then you get the links,
I'm probably going to.
you get a transmission, you get the gears, the guts for the axles. I mean, run the plastic axles anyways. I don't like running aluminum axles anymore.
Hey, okay, now you got me onto this. Does the kit? I meant to ask you this. The transmission in the kit, the builder's kit, doesn't it have some of the aluminum stuff in it, like the bearing races and the motor plate?
Let's look it up. I got it pulled up on the screen. I know they started to put more upgrade parts in the kits versus the RTR, and then they started to upgrade the RTR also, I think.
Okay.
Uh so VFD transmission comes spec'd with aluminum motor plate, bearing plates, aluminum standoffs, spur gear adapter. So yeah, it does have a
Yeah,
lot of
I'll
the
just
aluminum.
screw it.
I don't think it has the lightweight gears though.
No, but
Let's see.
and
Uh,
I'm kind of on your thing about plastic
cause
drive shafts right now.
I mean, cause what's a VFD? Isn't a VFD $125 by itself?
Yeah, I've got a couple, so yeah,
Oh,
but something like that. That's the only reason I was looking just for a cage is because I've got skids, I've got transmissions, I've got axles. Because I built mine doesn't even have optic axles. I'm running F9s in mine.
right. But what I'm getting at is when you add up the transmission and all the guts for the axles, you're kind of already at the price. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I will do that. I think I'll just go ahead and order a
And
kit. You're
then if
right.
you right, and then if you get a kit, you get a chance to get the carbon panels, and they'll sell for 350, and then you'll be into your kit for $20.
Yeah, like I run the chance of getting carbon fiber panels.
Oh, you're the
Please,
professional
I know
gambler.
better.
You're the professional gambler, just like
No,
me. I know.
no. All right,
I
it's
bought
9 o'clock.
I bought a pair of carbon panels and then sold them. So,
I didn't
anyways,
know that. Okay,
yeah, I got a fair deal on them and I sold them for what I bought them for to a local guy. I'm like, yeah, I just don't need these because I'm not going to want to scratch them up. So a local guy wanted them, so he came to my house and cash and all that happy fun stuff. Yeah, like
cool.
tool time,
All
same
right,
thing.
man.
He says, yeah, get a chance at the carbons.
I
Okay,
didn't know. I didn't. Okay, that makes sense. I didn't realize that it. I didn't think it out all the way. See, that's why I have you.
right. Okay, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week.
It was fun. Woohoo!
Okay,
Bye bye.
God bless. Take care, everybody.